There is a clock ticking somewhere inside you right now, and it has nothing to do with the one on your wall. It has nothing to do with the calendar on your phone or the deadline at your job or the age you see when you look in the mirror. There is a clock ticking inside you that most people never hear because the world is so loud, so relentlessly loud, that the only countdown that matters, the one your soul is running, gets drowned out by everything else. And here is what nobody tells you about that clock. It does not wait. It does not pause because you are not ready. It does not extend its deadline because you need more information or more confidence or more permission from the people around you. It simply counts, and when it reaches 0, the door it was holding open quietly closes. Not with a slam, not with drama, just a soft click. And then you spend the rest of your life wondering what was on the other side. You clicked on this video, and I want you to pause and feel into why. Not the surface reason, not because the title was interesting or the thumbnail caught your eye. Go deeper. Something in you recognized this moment. Something in you already knows that you are standing at a threshold, and the midnight I am talking about is not a metaphor for some distant future. It is closer than you think. It might be tonight. It might be this week. It might be the decision you have been circling for months. The one you keep almost making and then pulling back from because the fear is just loud enough to override the knowing. This is not a video about a book in the way you might expect. This is a video about the intelligence that brings certain information to you at exact moments in your life. The phenomenon that ancient traditions called divine timing, and that quantum physics now describes as coherence between the observer and the field. This is about the books, the ideas, the teachings that do not arrive by accident. They arrive by resonance. And when one finds you, truly finds you, it carries an urgency that your rational mind will try to explain away, but your body will feel as electricity, as pressure, as the undeniable sense that something is asking you to move. Let me tell you what I mean when I say a book finds you. I am not talking about browsing a shelf and picking something that looks interesting. I am not talking about following a recommendation from a friend. I am talking about those moments when a piece of wisdom lands in your life with such precision, such impossible timing, that you cannot chalk it up to coincidence no matter how hard you try. You are thinking about a problem you cannot solve, and a stranger mentions a title you have never heard, and it turns out to contain the exact framework you needed. You wake up at 3 a.m. with a phrase echoing in your mind, and when you search for it, you find it is the opening line of a text that was written centuries ago by someone who seems to be describing your exact situation. You walk into a shop you never visit, and a book falls off a shelf at your feet, and when you open it to a random page, the words there make you stop breathing for a moment, because they are so precisely what you needed to hear. These are not accidents. These are appointments. And the universe does not make appointments it does not intend to keep. But here is the part that changes everything. The universe makes the appointment. You still have to show up. And showing up means making a decision, often a terrifying one. Often before you feel ready. Often before midnight. So let us talk about what is really happening when wisdom arrives with urgency. Because understanding the mechanics of this will change how you respond to every crossroads you encounter for the rest of your life. There is a principle in quantum physics that most people have heard of, but very few have truly absorbed into their understanding of daily life. It is the observer effect. At the subatomic level, particles exist in a state of pure potential, a wave of probability spread across multiple possible positions and states until the moment they are observed. The act of observation collapses the wave function. It forces potential into actuality. It turns maybe into is, and this is not philosophy. This is not metaphor. This is what happens at the most fundamental level of physical reality. The act of looking, of paying attention, of directing consciousness towards something, literally determines what becomes real. Now expand that principle beyond the laboratory. Expand it into your life. Every moment of your existence, you are surrounded by a field of infinite potential. Possible futures, possible versions of yourself, possible realities that exist as probability waves waiting to be collapsed into something concrete. And what collapses them is not time, it is not luck, it is not circumstance. It is your attention. It is your decision. It is the moment you stop hovering in maybe and commit to yes or no. The wave function of your life collapses at the point of decision. And some decisions have windows, not because the universe is cruel or arbitrary, but because the alignment of conditions that makes certain possibilities available is not static. It shifts, it moves, it breathes like everything else in a living cosmos. And when the conditions align to offer you something extraordinary, that alignment holds for a period, and then it passes. Not forever necessarily, but the same door in the same way at the same cost. That particular configuration has an expiration. This is what I mean by midnight. Not a literal hour on a literal clock, although sometimes the timing is that precise. I mean the edge of an energetic window, the last moment before a particular alignment of possibility shifts into something else. And the wisdom traditions of every culture on Earth have tried to communicate this truth in their own language. The Greeks called it kairos, the opportune moment, as distinct from chronos, which is just the mechanical passage of time. Kairos is qualitative time. It is the moment that is ripe, that is pregnant with potential, that is asking you to act not because you are being rushed, but because the fruit is ready to be picked, and if you wait, it will fall and rot on the ground. The Tao Te Ching speaks of this as the way of water, moving when the channel opens, not forcing, but not hesitating either. There is a passage that says the sage acts without effort, not because action is unnecessary, but because the sage moves in harmony with timing itself. The action and the moment become one thing. There is no gap between recognition and response, and in that gaplessness, what looks effortless from the outside is actually the most precise alignment possible between inner knowing and outer movement. If this is landing for you, if you can feel these words activating something deeper than just understanding, take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe so this frequency keeps finding you when you need it most. So when a book finds you, when a teaching arrives with that unmistakable charge of relevance, what is actually happening is that your consciousness and the information field around you have achieved a moment of coherence. You and the wisdom are vibrating at the same frequency. You have asked a question, perhaps not with words, but with the direction of your longing, and the field has organized itself to deliver an answer. But the answer is not just information. The answer is an invitation, and invitations have response windows. Think about this in your own life. Think about the moments when you knew, not thought, not hoped, not analyzed your way to a conclusion, knew, in your body, in your bones, that something was being offered to you and that the offering had a quality of now to it. Maybe it was a relationship. Maybe it was an opportunity. Maybe it was a calling that stirred in you so strongly it almost hurt. And think about what you did with that knowing. Did you honor it? Did you move? Or did you do what most people do, which is take that lightning bolt of clarity and immediately begin to negotiate with it? Begin to ask, but what if? Begin to consult people who have no access to the frequency you just received. Begin to wait for a certainty that was never going to come, because certainty is not what the universe offers before the leap. It offers knowing. And knowing is not the same as certainty. Knowing is a felt sense that lives below the neck. Certainty is what the mind demands and rarely gets, because the mind operates in the realm of logic, and logic requires all variables to be known, and in a living, breathing, quantum reality, all variables are never known. They cannot be. That is the nature of a participatory universe. You do not get to see the whole picture before you step into it, because your stepping into it is what completes the picture. Let that land for a moment. Your decision is not a response to a fixed reality. Your decision is what creates the reality. The book that found you, the insight that arrived with urgency, the knowing that is pulsing in you right now. These are not descriptions of a future that already exists and is waiting for you to discover it. They are invitations to co-create a future that cannot exist without your participation. And participation means choice. And choice means now, not later, not when you are ready, now, because the field that is currently configured to support that particular future will not hold its configuration forever. It is alive. It is dynamic. It responds to the choices of every consciousness within it, not just yours. And the longer you wait, the more the field shifts in response to other inputs, other decisions, other observers collapsing other wave functions. And the particular possibility that was yours to claim begins to dissolve back into the ocean of potential from which it arose. I want to pause here and ask you something. When was the last time you felt that unmistakable knowing in your body? That moment when the universe was clearly offering you something? And what did you do with it? Drop that in the comments below. Your answer might be exactly what someone else needs to read right now. This is not meant to create panic. This is meant to create clarity. There is a profound difference between urgency born of fear and urgency born of alignment. Fear-based urgency says you must act because something terrible will happen if you do not. Alignment-based urgency says you are invited to act because something extraordinary is available, and the window of availability is not infinite. One contracts you, the other expands you. One makes you smaller, the other asks you to become larger than you have been, and your body knows the difference. Your body always knows the difference. Fear-based urgency lives in your chest as tightness, in your throat as constriction, in your stomach as nausea. Alignment-based urgency lives in your body as electricity, as aliveness, as a trembling that is not anxiety, but excitement wearing a similar costume. Learn to tell them apart. Your entire life depends on learning to tell them apart. So here you are. Something has found you. Maybe it is the content of this very moment, these very words. Maybe it is something that has been circling you for weeks or months, and this is simply the moment when you can no longer pretend you do not see it. Whatever it is, I want you to drop out of your head and into your body right now, not later, right now. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the weight of your body in the chair or on the bed or wherever you are. Feel the aliveness in your hands. And from that place, that grounded, embodied, present place, ask yourself one question. What is the decision I have been avoiding? Do not rush past this. Do not let your mind immediately start generating answers and then critiquing them. Just let the question land like a stone dropped into still water and watch what ripples outward. What is the decision I have been avoiding? It is there. You already know what it is. You have known for a while. The fact that you are here, listening to these words, at this exact moment in your life, is not random. Nothing in a conscious universe is random. You are here because the same intelligence that moves galaxies and grows oak trees from acorns and turns caterpillars into butterflies has organized this moment for you. Not because you are special in the way the ego wants to be special, but because you are a node of consciousness in an interconnected field, and when a node is ready to shift, the field supports the shift by delivering exactly what is needed. You are what is needed for the field right now, and the field is delivering what is needed for you. This is reciprocal. This is relationship. This is the living dialogue between your individual awareness and the infinite awareness that you are simultaneously a part of and an expression of. Now let us go deeper into the mechanics of why decisions have deadlines, because this is where the intersection of quantum physics and ancient wisdom becomes not just fascinating, but practically essential. In physics, there is a concept called quantum decoherence. It describes what happens when a quantum system that exists in a state of superposition, meaning it holds multiple possibilities simultaneously, begins to interact with its environment in ways that cause it to lose its quantum properties and settle into a single classical state. In simpler terms, it is the process by which possibility becomes fixed, by which the fluid becomes solid, by which what could be becomes what is. And here is what is critical to understand. Decoherence is not something that happens to you. It is something that happens through you. Every moment of indecision, every moment of waiting, every moment of I will decide later, you are not pressing pause on the process. The process continues. The field continues to decohere around you, through you, with or without your conscious participation. The difference is that when you participate consciously, when you make the decision deliberately, you have a say in which possibility becomes fixed. When you do not participate, when you abdicate the role of conscious observer, the field still collapses, but it collapses according to default patterns, according to habit, according to the momentum of your past, rather than the intention of your future. And this is how people end up living lives that feel like they happened to them rather than lives they chose. Not because they lacked options, not because the universe was unkind, but because at the critical moments, the midnight moments, they did not decide, and the field decided for them. This is what every great spiritual text is trying to tell you in its own language. The Bhagavad Gita places Arjuna on a battlefield, and the entire teaching is about why he must act, why withdrawal is not neutrality, but its own form of choice, why the refusal to decide is itself a decision with consequences. The teaching is not about war. It is about the inescapable nature of participation in a conscious universe. You are already in the field. You are already collapsing wave functions with every breath, every thought, every micro moment of attention. The question is not whether you will participate. The question is whether you will participate consciously or unconsciously, whether you will choose or be chosen for. And the books that find you, the wisdom that arrives with perfect timing, These are the field's way of saying the moment is now, not tomorrow, not next month, not when you have more money or more courage or more clarity. Now. Because the configuration that makes this particular leap possible, this particular transformation available, this particular door open, is a temporary alignment of forces that your rational mind cannot fully comprehend and does not need to fully comprehend. Your rational mind is a beautiful tool for navigating known territory. It is almost useless for navigating the unknown. And every real decision, every decision that actually changes the trajectory of your life, is a step into the unknown. If you could see exactly where it leads, it would not require courage. It would require only logic. And logic does not transform. Logic optimizes within existing parameters. Transformation requires the willingness to step outside existing parameters entirely, to let the old map dissolve and trust that a new one will form under your feet as you walk. Tell me in the comments, what is the one decision you have been circling but have not yet made? Sometimes naming it out loud, even to strangers, is the first act of collapsing that wave function. Let me share something about the nature of these pivotal texts and teachings that find us at critical moments. There is a pattern that mystics and scholars have noted across cultures and centuries. Certain bodies of wisdom seem to have an almost living quality. They do not simply contain information. They transmit frequency. They carry the consciousness of their origin in a way that activates something in the reader or listener that goes beyond intellectual understanding. The Emerald Tablet of Hermes, a text so ancient its origins are debated, contains the famous phrase, "as above, so below." 7 words that have generated centuries of contemplation because they are not just a statement. They are a key, a frequency, a vibrational pattern that, when truly received, reorganizes the receiver's relationship to reality itself. The Tao Te Ching, 81 short chapters that have been translated more times than almost any text in history, and yet each translation feels like it is speaking to a different dimension of the same infinite truth. The Kybalion, with its 7 hermetic principles, which reads differently every time you return to it, because you are different every time you return to it. And the text seems to know this, seems to have been written not for a single reading, but for a lifetime of readings, each one revealing a layer that was invisible before. These are not ordinary books. They are technologies of consciousness. And when one of them finds you, when the right teaching arrives at the right moment, with that unmistakable charge of relevance, what is happening's not that you are learning something new. What is happening's that something already within you is being activated. The knowledge is already there. It has always been there. It is encoded in the fabric of your being, because you are made of the same consciousness that generated the teaching in the first place. The book does not give you wisdom. The book reminds you of wisdom you forgot you had. It creates a resonance between the truth on the page and the truth in your cells, and in that resonance, something wakes up. Something that has been sleeping. Something that has been waiting for exactly this signal to begin its work. And this is why the timing matters so much. Because the activation is not just about the information. It is about the state you are in when the information arrives. There are moments in your life when you are more open, more porous, more available to transformation than others. These moments often coincide with crisis, with breakdown, with the collapse of something you thought was permanent. They coincide with the dark night of the soul, with the moment when everything you believed is called into question. With the period when the old self is dissolving and the new self has not yet formed. In these liminal spaces, these threshold moments, you are extraordinarily receptive. The walls of your habitual identity are thin. The filters that normally screen out inconvenient truths are weakened. And in that vulnerability, that raw openness, wisdom can penetrate to depths it could never reach when you were defended and certain and comfortable. If you are in one of those moments right now, if something in your life has recently cracked open or is in the process of cracking open, then the urgency you feel is not pathology. It is intelligence. It is the intelligence of a system that knows the window of maximum receptivity will not last forever. The ego will rebuild its walls. The defenses will come back online. The comfortable numbness will return if you let it. And the teaching that could have changed everything will become just another interesting idea you encountered once and filed away in the ever-growing archive of things you know, but do not live. This is the tragedy that plays out in millions of lives. Not a lack of wisdom, an abundance of wisdom that was never acted upon. Not a shortage of pivotal moments, a surplus of pivotal moments that were recognized and then rationalized away. The midnight came and went, and the decision was not made, and the door closed with that soft click, and life continued, but with a subtle dimming, a barely perceptible loss of color, a quiet grief that settles into the body and becomes what most people call getting older, but is actually the accumulated weight of unlived possibilities. I am not saying this to create guilt. Guilt is useless. Guilt is the ego's way of pretending to take responsibility without actually changing anything. I am saying this to create recognition, to help you see the pattern so you can interrupt it. Because the fact that you are here, right now, listening to these words, means another midnight is approaching. Another window is open. Another possibility is being offered. And the question is not whether you deserve it, or whether you are ready for it, or whether you can guarantee the outcome. The question is simply, will you say yes? If this understanding of the observer effect and conscious wave function collapse is resonating deeply with you, what we have explored here only touches the surface. In my book, Beyond the Frequencies, A Quantum Guide to Consciousness Mastery, you will find the complete system of 9 master frequencies that take you from unconscious transmission to deliberately becoming the broadcast itself, with layers upon layers of practice for moving from seeking to embodiment. It is linked in the pinned comment below. Let us talk about what saying yes actually looks like, because this is where most teachings fail. They inspire you to the point of decision and then leave you standing at the edge with no practical understanding of how to step forward. Saying yes is not a single dramatic moment. It is a series of micro-commitments that begin in the body and ripple outward into action. The first yes is internal. It is the moment you stop arguing with the knowing. The moment you stop presenting counter-evidence to your own intuition. The moment you let the truth you have been resisting simply be true without needing to fix it, or manage it, or make it palatable to the parts of you that are afraid. That internal yes is the most important one because it is the collapse of the wave function at the level of identity. It is the moment you stop being someone who is considering a change and become someone who has decided to change. And that shift, that identity level shift, is what reorganizes everything else. After the internal yes comes what I call the first irreversible step. This is not the whole journey. This is not the final destination. This is the smallest possible action that makes the decision real in the physical world. It is the conversation you have been avoiding. It is the email you send. It is the form you fill out. It is the object you release. It is the word you speak that cannot be unspoken. It does not have to be large. It has to be real. It has to create a before and after. It has to be something that, once done, changes the landscape enough that going back to the old pattern requires more effort than continuing forward. This is strategic. This is not recklessness. This is the wisdom of understanding that the mind will try to reverse any decision that threatens the status quo. And the best defense against that reversal is to take an action that makes reversal costly. Not impossible, but costly enough that the path of least resistance shifts from backward to forward. And here is something that almost no one talks about. The moment you take that first irreversible step, the field responds. Not eventually, immediately. The moment you commit, resources begin to organize around your commitment that were invisible before. People appear. Opportunities materialize. Information flows to you through channels you could not have predicted or manufactured. This is not magical thinking. This is the physics of a participatory universe responding to a conscious observer who has finally collapsed the wave function of indecision. When you were in maybe, the field could not organize around you because you were not a fixed point. You were a smear of probability. The moment you become a fixed point, a decided point, the field can relate to you as something definite, and it begins to arrange itself accordingly. Goethe captured this when he wrote that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. This is not poetry. This is physics described in the language of a poet. But let us be honest about what also happens when you say yes. Fear does not disappear. It transforms. Before the decision, fear presents itself as a reason not to act. After the decision, fear becomes the energy that fuels the action. It is the same biochemical cascade, the same adrenaline, the same heightened awareness. But its function changes entirely based on your relationship to it. Before the decision, fear is a wall. After the decision, fear is a wind at your back. You do not need to eliminate fear to act. You need to decide, and then let the fear serve the decision rather than obstruct it. Every great teacher, every mystic, every person who has ever done anything that mattered has done it afraid. The absence of fear is not courage. The absence of fear is either ignorance or numbness. Courage is the decision to move in the presence of fear because something deeper than fear is calling you forward. And what is that something deeper? It is the same intelligence that brought the book to you, that organized this moment, that has been patiently, persistently, lovingly arranging the conditions of your life to bring you to exactly this threshold. Call it God. Call it the universe. Call it the quantum field. Call it your higher self. Call it the Tao. The name does not matter. What matters is that you recognize it as real, as active, as invested in your transformation, and as operating on a timeline that is not negotiable. Not because it is punishing you for being slow, but because it is orchestrating a symphony of countless moving parts, countless other consciousnesses, countless other timelines, and your window of opportunity exists within that larger orchestration. You are not the only instrument, but you are an essential one. And when it is your moment to play your note, the entire symphony pauses, just for an instant, to make space for your contribution. And if you do not play it, the symphony continues, but with a silence where your note should have been. And that silence echoes, not just in your life, in the field itself. Let me take you even deeper now into something that will reframe your entire relationship with decision-making. Most people believe that making a decision means choosing between options that already exist. Option A or option B, door 1 or door 2, this path or that path. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding of how reality works at the quantum level. In a quantum universe, the decision does not select from pre-existing options. The decision creates the options. Before you decide, the possibilities exist only as probability waves. They are not real in any concrete sense. They are potential, and potential is not the same as actual. The moment you decide, you do not pick from a menu. You collapse an infinite field of potential into a specific actuality that did not exist as a concrete reality until you chose it. This means that the future you are afraid of, the one where you make the wrong choice and everything falls apart, does not exist. It is not waiting for you behind the wrong door. It is a probability wave that will only become real if you collapse it into reality through your attention and expectation, and the future you are longing for. The one where the leap leads to expansion and aliveness and a life that feels like yours, that does not exist yet either. It is also a probability wave, and it will only become real if you collapse it into reality through your decision and your commitment and your willingness to walk toward it, even when you cannot see the whole path. This is the deepest teaching of quantum mechanics applied to human life. You are not choosing between futures. You are creating a future. And creation requires commitment. Half-hearted creation produces half-hearted results. The field responds to the coherence of your signal. If your signal is, "I want this, but I am not sure, and I am keeping my options open, and I have a backup plan," the field reads that as incoherence and responds with incoherent results. Mixed signals produce mixed outcomes. But if your signal is, "I choose this, I commit to this, I am willing to be transformed by this," the field reads that as coherence and responds with coherent support. Clear signals produce clear outcomes. Not always the outcomes you expected, because the intelligence of the field is greater than the intelligence of your expectations, but outcomes that serve the deeper purpose of your evolution in ways that, in retrospect, you will recognize as perfect. This is why the midnight metaphor is so powerful. Midnight is the threshold between one day and the next. It is the liminal moment when what was gives way to what will be. It is the death of the old and the birth of the new compressed into a single point. And every real decision is a midnight. Every real decision is a death and a birth. The self that existed before the decision dies in the act of deciding, and a new self is born, one that has incorporated the courage and the commitment and the consequences of the choice. You cannot make a real decision and remain the same person. That is the price of entry, and that is what makes it terrifying. Not the external consequences, which your mind obsesses over, but the internal transformation, which your ego resists with everything it has, because the ego's primary function is self-preservation, and a real decision is an act of self-transcendence. So here is what I want you to understand about this moment, about whatever it is that has brought you here, about whatever decision is pressing against the walls of your awareness right now. The fear you feel is not a sign that you should not act. The fear you feel is a sign that the decision is real, that it matters, that it has the power to change you. Trivial decisions do not generate fear. Only decisions that touch the core of who you are generate that kind of resistance. And the greater the resistance, the greater the potential transformation on the other side. This is a reliable compass. Not the only one, but a reliable one. When your body is trembling and your mind is racing and every rational faculty you possess is generating reasons to wait, to think more, to gather more data, to consult one more person, that is often the clearest signal that the moment is now and the decision is yours and the midnight is approaching. Let me offer you a practice now, not a concept, a practice. Something you can do with your body and your breath and your attention that will help you access the clarity that is already within you, beneath the noise, beneath the fear, beneath the endless commentary of a mind that is terrified of the unknown. Close your eyes if you can. If you cannot, soften your gaze. Let your visual field blur. You do not need your eyes for what comes next. You need your felt sense, that deeper, older, wiser way of knowing that lives in your body, in your gut, in your heart, in the space between your thoughts. Take a breath, a real one. Not the shallow automatic breath you have been running on. A breath that fills your belly, expands your ribs, lifts your collarbones. Hold it at the top for just a moment, and then release it slowly, completely, letting everything go. Do that again. Breathe in, hold, and release. One more time. Breathe in, filling yourself with presence. Hold, gathering your attention, and release, letting everything that is not essential fall away. Now, from this place of stillness, bring to mind the decision you have been avoiding. Do not think about it. Feel it. Where does it live in your body? What is its texture, its temperature, its weight? Is it sharp or diffuse? Is it hot or cold? Is it moving or still? Just notice. Do not try to change it. Do not try to fix it. Just be with it the way you would be with a friend who needs to be heard. And now ask it, not with your mind, but with your attention. What are you trying to show me? And wait. Do not generate an answer. Receive one. There is a difference. Generating an answer is a mental activity. Receiving an answer is a whole-body event. It might come as a word. It might come as an image. It might come as a sensation. It might come as a sudden clarity that has no form at all but is unmistakable in its truth. Whatever comes, trust it. Do not argue with it. Do not qualify it. Do not immediately start planning how to implement it. Just receive it. Let it land in you the way a seed lands in soil. It does not need you to do anything right now, except receive it and say yes to its truth. This is the practice. This is how you access guidance that is deeper than thought, more reliable than analysis, more aligned than any external advice could ever be. Because the intelligence that is guiding you is not separate from you. It is you. The deepest, most expanded, most connected version of you. The version that exists outside of time and can see the whole board, while the version of you that is afraid can only see the next square. And that deeper version is not uncertain. It is not conflicted. It knows exactly what the decision is and it has known for a while. Your only job is to get quiet enough to hear it and brave enough to honor it. Now let us talk about what happens after midnight for those who do not decide. Because understanding this is not about creating fear. It is about creating motivation through clarity. When a window of transformation closes, what follows is not punishment. It is simply the natural consequence of a wave function that collapsed without your conscious participation. The field moved on. The alignment shifted. And you are left in a reality that was created by your default patterns rather than your deliberate choice. And this reality is not terrible. It is simply familiar. It is the life you already know, the patterns you already run, the identity you already wear. And for many people, that is fine. That is enough. That is comfortable. But you are not watching this video because comfortable is enough for you. You are watching this video because something in you is done with comfortable. Something in you knows that the familiar has become a prison, that the patterns have become chains, that the identity you have been wearing no longer fits and is actually suffocating the version of you that is trying to emerge. And that version, the one trying to emerge, is not a fantasy. It is not wishful thinking. It is a probability wave. A real, quantum mechanically valid possibility that exists in the field right now, waiting for you to collapse it into reality through the act of decision. It is as real as the version of you that is sitting here listening. It is simply not yet actualized, and actualization requires your participation, your conscious, deliberate, committed participation. There is a concept in Hermetic philosophy that is directly relevant here. It is the principle of rhythm, sometimes called the principle of the pendulum. It states that everything in the universe moves in cycles. Everything has its tides, its advance and retreat, its rise and fall. And the master, the one who has learned to work with these rhythms rather than against them, does not try to stop the pendulum. The master learns to rise with the upswing and remain centered during the downswing. The master learns to recognize which phase of the cycle they are in and to act accordingly. And what I am telling you is that right now, for you, the pendulum is at its apex. The upswing has carried you to the highest point. The maximum potential energy is available. And in the next moment, the next day, the next week, the pendulum will begin its return. The energy will shift. The window will narrow. The momentum that is currently supporting your leap will begin to dissipate. This is not tragic. This is rhythm. This is the nature of a universe that breathes. But if you understand rhythm, you do not waste the apex. You use it. You launch from it. You let the accumulated energy of the upswing propel you into the next phase of your becoming. And here is perhaps the most important thing I can tell you about the relationship between wisdom and action, between the book that finds you and the life that is asking you to change. Knowledge that is not acted upon does not simply remain neutral. It becomes a weight. Every truth you recognize but do not honor becomes a stone in the pack you carry. Every insight that lands in your awareness and is then filed away under things I know but do not live adds density to the field of resistance around you. This is why people who have read every self-help book, attended every workshop, consumed every podcast, can still feel stuck. Not because the wisdom was wrong, but because wisdom without action is a debt, not an asset. It is a promise made to your own evolution that has not been kept. And the soul keeps accounts even when the mind does not. So the question is not whether you have enough information to decide. You have too much information. The question is not whether you need to learn more before you act. You need to learn less and act more. The question is the one that has been pulsing beneath every word of this conversation. Will you decide before midnight? I want to speak now to the part of you that is afraid, not to dismiss it, not to override it, but to honor it, and then gently, firmly, lovingly move it aside. The part of you that is afraid is not your enemy. It is a guardian. It was installed in your system to protect you from genuine threats, and it has done its job well. It has kept you alive. It has kept you safe. It has prevented you from walking off cliffs and touching flames and trusting people who meant you harm. Thank it for that. Sincerely. It deserves your gratitude. But then tell it the truth. The truth that the decision in front of you is not a cliff. It is a bridge. The truth that what feels like danger is actually growth, and growth always feels like danger to a nervous system that was designed to maintain homeostasis. The truth that the greatest risk is not in leaping, but in standing still, because standing still in a universe that is constantly moving is not stability. It is stagnation, and stagnation is the only real death. Not the physical kind, the spiritual kind, the slow, quiet, comfortable death of a consciousness that stopped saying yes to its own expansion. Your nervous system cannot tell the difference between a real threat and a perceived threat. It responds the same way to a tiger in the room and a difficult conversation on the phone. The same cascade of cortisol and adrenaline. The same contraction. The same impulse to flee or freeze. But you are not your nervous system. You are the awareness that contains your nervous system. You are the consciousness that can observe the fear response, acknowledge it, and then choose to act anyway. This is what it means to be a conscious being in a quantum universe. You are not at the mercy of your programming. You are the programmer. And every time you choose to act from awareness rather than react from conditioning, you rewrite the code. You update the software. You evolve, not in some distant future, right now, in this breath, in this decision. Consider sharing this video with someone you know who is standing at their own threshold right now. When you share these principles of quantum consciousness with another person, you do not just pass along information. You create a ripple in the field that reinforces your own decision, deepens your own understanding, and generates a synchronistic bridge between two consciousnesses that the universe can use to accelerate both of your transformations. That ripple effect is real, and it begins the moment you choose to extend this frequency to someone else. And this brings us back to the book, the teaching, the wisdom that found you. Whatever form it took, whatever words it used, whatever tradition it emerged from, its essential message is the same message that every authentic teaching has ever carried. You are more than you think you are. The reality you inhabit is more responsive than you have been told. And the power to transform your experience of being alive lives not in some future achievement or acquisition, but in the quality of your attention and the courage of your choices right here, right now, in this unrepeatable moment that will never come again in exactly this form. The book that finds you at midnight is not trying to give you something you lack. It is trying to show you something you have always had. The capacity to choose, the power to create, the authority to say, "This is who I am now, and have reality reorganize itself around that declaration. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. This is what happens when a node of consciousness in an infinite field finally accepts its nature and begins to function accordingly. So as we approach the end of this conversation, and it is a conversation, even though you have been silent because your attention is a form of speech, and the field has been listening to every micro-response in your body as these words have landed, I want to leave you with something that is less a conclusion and more a beginning. The midnight is real. The window is real. The decision is real. And you already know what it is. You have known since before you pressed play on this video. You have known since before the book found you. Since before the teaching arrived. Since before the synchronicity caught your attention. You have known because the knowing is not something that was given to you from outside. It is something that has been growing inside you, like a seed that was planted long ago and has been quietly, persistently, patiently pushing toward the surface, waiting for the moment when the soil of your readiness would be soft enough for it to break through. That moment is now. Not because I say so, not because some external authority has decreed it, but because you feel it. In your body, in your bones, in the space behind your sternum where something is expanding right now as you hear these words. That expansion is not a reaction to my voice. That expansion is your own consciousness recognizing itself in what is being said. That expansion is the truth in you meeting the truth in these words and creating a resonance that cannot be manufactured or faked or intellectualized away. So here is what I am going to ask you to do. Not later, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Before midnight. Whatever midnight means for you. Whatever the deadline is that your soul has set for this particular decision. Before that threshold passes, take the first step. Not the whole journey, the first step. The one irreversible action that makes the decision real. The conversation, the commitment, the release, the beginning. Whatever it is, do it before the clock runs out. Not because you are being punished for delay, but because you deserve to live in the reality that exists on the other side of your courage. Because the version of you that has already decided is calling you forward from a future that is so much more alive, so much more real, so much more you than anything your fear can imagine. And that version is not patient. Not because it is demanding, but because it knows what you do not yet fully know, which is that the life you are meant to live is not somewhere in the distant future. It is one decision away, one breath away, one yes away. Take that breath now. Feel the yes that lives beneath the fear, and let it rise. Let it fill you. Let it move you. Not with force, with truth. The quiet, undeniable, body-shaking truth of a consciousness that has finally stopped negotiating with its own knowing and has simply, completely, irreversibly decided. This is your midnight. This is your moment. This is the book finding you, the teaching arriving, the wisdom landing with perfect precision in the exact center of your readiness. Say yes. And if these words have stirred something in you, if you feel the resonance of what has been shared here, leave one word in the comments. Just one word that captures what you are feeling right now. Not a paragraph, not an explanation. One word. Let it be your declaration. Let it be the first sound of your new frequency entering the field. And subscribe to this channel not because you need more content, but because you are choosing to remain in proximity to this frequency, to keep this resonance alive, to remind yourself again and again that you are not the small, afraid, uncertain version that your conditioning insists you are. You are the consciousness that creates reality. You are the observer that collapses the wave function. You are the one the book was looking for, and midnight is closer than you think. Now that you understand the power of your decision to collapse the wave function, go deeper into the mechanism that makes all of this work. Watch your attention creates reality, not your effort, because it reveals the blind observer paradox and shows you exactly how the quality of your awareness, not your struggle, is what shapes everything that manifests in your field.